Next up on Man vs Pixels, I've been playing Ass Commandos. Now, Ass Commandos is not only one of the best titles of a Steam game out on the moment, but it's a top-down 2D shooter. It's a little bit bullet hellish, but not as mad as a lot of the Japanese games you find that are in the bullet hell category. It's not like you've only ever have like one pixel on the screen you can actually move to avoid bullets. It's not quite that bad, but yeah, top-down 2D shooter. It's packed full of over-the-top gore, masses of explosions. Really good sort of action game. It's, like I say, it's a standard top-down, some would call a twin-stick controlled shooter. You just kind of move and shoot with one, move with one control, shoot with the other, keyboard and mouse or controller, whatever you prefer. You make your way through kind of linear levels, sort of just like corridor levels, but like top-down sort of laid out corridors. And just move your character around and fire your gun in whatever direction the enemies are. As you go through the levels, you come up against various different enemies, various different structures, and other things you can destroy as well. You get weapon pickups. Like normally you just fire like a assault rifle, machine gun type gun, just firing bullets, but you can run over different power-ups around the level, and these can change your weapon for a short duration. So things like a rocket launcher or grenades, flamethrower, things like that. And they get dropped about the place, and you just run over to pick them up, and then they last as long as they last, and then they're gone. As you go through the level, you can rescue other commandos just by walking over them. And when you do, they follow you around. You basically control them. They do what you do. So that's like just an extra gun, really. Whatever you shoot at, they shoot. Whatever you do, they do. Whatever you're shooting at, they shoot at. And wherever you move, they move. It's just like they just kind of walk around a couple of centimeters to the side of your character. So sometimes you can have quite a few of these. If you've collected, rescued a few, and they've not got killed, you can end up with 3, 4, maybe even more, and that adds a lot of firepower to you because they're all shooting at wherever you shoot at as well. Now the missions are quite short, but they you don't often get through them in like your first try. It's not one of those games where you can like save your progress during a mission. Like you've got to complete the whole thing in one life. You do have health, so it's not like if you get hit you die, but if you do die you start the mission from the beginning. So the missions are short, but you usually take several tries to get through them. It's bundled into mission packs. Like each mission is part of a mission pack, maybe like 8-10 missions in that pack, and there's at the moment there's 6 mission packs out for it. I don't know if more come out on a regular basis or not. I'm not really sure about that, but there's sort of 6 mission packs out at the moment. Each have a different theme and a different kind of aesthetic and a different location that you play the levels in. It's a pixel sort of graphics, retro looking game, really nice looking pixel graphics, and it's like an 80s action movie. That's definitely the theme they've gone for in this. All the commandos you play are sort of straight out of 80s action movies. They've got like bandanas and vests, moustaches, that kind of thing. So think like Commando and those kind of Chuck Norris movies from the 80s. Arnie, Dolph Lundgren, all of those kind of characters. That's kind of what the game resembles. There are several of those playable characters. As you go through the game, you start as one, but as you go through the game, other playable characters unlock, and you can just replay missions with a different character. Quite simple: move, shoot, avoid bullets. At the end of each mission, you get XP awarded. The character you played the mission then gains that XP, and if they go up a level, they unlock a couple of skill points that can be assigned. And the higher rank they get, the more kind of slots you've got available to assign these skill points to. These skill points can be assigned to things like extra damage, faster rate of fire, more armor, more hit points, that kind of thing. Not too deep, pretty simple. That's about the extent of it. And this could be done for each character, so you know, you've got a fair bit to do there if you want to level every character up and complete missions and rank up with every character. But you can level each character up in a different way. You can concentrate like maybe one character on armor and hit points, and another character on rate of fire and damage, and other characters, you know, balanced between. The enemies you fight kind of vary in lethality. Some are easy mincers to kill, and others are quite dangerous, you have to watch out for, and there's usually an end of level boss lurking somewhere in most of the missions. But the enemies are generally like just your standard machine gunner, or more dangerous enemies that might throw grenades or fire RPGs or snipers from, you know, across the map. There's even some levels where there's enemies that just run at you with knives. They're really fast. They can't obviously do anything until they get to you, but if you let them get to you, they start stabbing you to death. And there's one level where there's just loads of alligators, and yeah, the alligators will just eat you if they get to you. There's several difficulty levels to play it on. It could be pretty hard if you're playing it on one of the higher difficulties. I'm just kind of playing it on the second difficulty level up. There's 2 more higher than that, and yeah, there was some challenging missions, quite demanding missions in that difficulty. So going higher, it's going to get pretty difficult, I reckon, pretty challenging. Several attempts I needed to get through some missions. Some were like really tough. So that's definitely something you've got if you like a challenge. There's plenty of difficulty there if that's what you want. So its full price on Steam is $6.99, which is pretty decent for a cool little game like this. It's short if you're just going to play through it once. Like, you could probably, I've done about 4 hours on it, and I've done 4 of the 6 mission packs. So I'd say I probably got maybe another 2 hours to go if I wanted just to play through all the mission packs once. But if you wanted to go through it and play it with every character, level up it, rank up every character to its highest, and see like what you can do with each character, then there's definitely replay value there. And of course, as I mentioned before, there's the difficulty levels. If you wanted more of a challenge, trying to get through higher difficulties, there's that too. I think you can even try and do speed runs and things like that if you're into that kind of challenge as well. So there's replay value there if you're into it and you like it. But if you're just going to play through once, then it's pretty short. But $6.99 is not a bad price, but you could definitely still look out for it in a sale. Definitely pick it up if it turns out like 50% off or something like that. That's going to be well worth it. It's a nice little game. I recommend it. It's good to just pick up and play in like little you can just bite-sized chunks. Play it for 10 minutes and put it down. It's one of those kind of games you don't have to sort of sit and play for hours and hours. No, you can just leave it installed if you want, and just pick it up, have a bash, play a mission, play 2 missions, and then put it to one side and come back to it when you feel like it. So that's Ass Commandos.